of the other guests, this is your first rodeo with it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This was completely avoidable.
Yeah.
It was.
You are right.
It was. And you know what? With all due respect, okay, if I didn't have a lot of respect for all you guys on my team, okay, I probably would have not given as much time to Kobe Bryant as I am. But I feel like this is therapy that every one of you, like you, Lewis, you, Jake, Xavier McKnight, okay, this is an opportunity for you younger guys to go ahead and vent about what you feel. Chris Roberts and I were on earlier, and he was giving us the L.A. perspective. Mel Farr obviously dealt with the death of his father, and we all know when to check out. Bill
hard.
Winters and I had an opportunity to go ahead and talk about it on earlier in the week. And Rick Curdy, of all people, just chastised the hell out of the Super Bowl, for God's sake, and didn't even talk about Bryant. No disrespect toward Kobe. Okay, this is an opportunity for everyone on this network that had an opinion that wanted to get it off their chest to do it. But again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, okay, and that's this. Pilot error, discretionary. Kobe Bryant's plane. Kobe Bryant should have known better that the weather was not that great on that given day, and he had veto power and chose not to use any of it. Period. And as a result, a lot of lives were affected by what took place because of circumstances that were avoidable.
And there was even reports of engine problems
I know,
as well.
but the bottom line is engine trouble is fine. But the bottom line is, Lewis, okay, the weather was an issue. I don't care if the engine's bad or not. The weather was bad. Fog. You understand? Do you?
It was bad visibility. It was
bad visibility.
Yeah.
Yes.
So forget about the stupid engine.
And the thing is that we are going to learn more as we go along here in the next couple of weeks. But right now, it's at that point of just mourning and then having their private funeral and, going from there. But we're going to learn more as we go along here. And as I said before, I did read a lot about, this could have been prevented. Simply could have been prevented, but there was bad visibility.
Right.
The planes were grounded at this point, and planes were even delayed at this point.
Right.
So you don't want to take a chance, but, they decided to do it, and, unfortunately, it had tragic circumstances, and here we are today instead of talking about Super Bowl 54.
Right.
Two tremendous teams. But you brought up therapy here for a moment, Scott, and I feel like the therapy I got was on Tuesday night when, I think it was actually Monday night. Yeah, Monday night. It was Monday night, and I was I was working my job, and I look up at the TV, and my favorite Kobe Bryant game is on there, and it was his final game, April 13th, 2016, against the Utah Jazz.
Right.
He puts 60 points, puts 15 points in the last 3 minutes of the game, and I just sat there with the biggest smile on my face, and I was getting into it, and then when he waved goodbye to the crowd and walked out of the Staples Center, it faded to black before Sports Center started, and I sat there for about 3 seconds and said to myself, okay, that was my mourning period. Now it's time to get back into life here, because if we could all just live life the best way, like Kobe Bryant did, just like Gigi did, like the Altobelli family did, Mauser family did, the Chester family did, and the pilot, we can do anything. We can take this as a precaution going forward and trusting our gut. But at the end of the day, these people all lived their lives out the best way they could until their final breath. It's sad to say that they are gone from our lives, but, we don't know much about Christina Mauser except she was a girls basketball coach. She was an assistant with Kobe Bryant. The Chester family was a big part of the Bryant family and the Altobelli family as well. And pretty much, even though I don't know Kobe Bryant, I didn't know the Altobellis, I didn't know Chester, I didn't know Ara, it just felt like we were mourning 9 people this week, even though it was all shadowed by the tributes by Kobe Bryant, respectfully.
Well, to be frankly honest with you, we should be mourning a 10th. You know who that is? John Andretti, the auto motorsports guy, died of colon cancer after being diagnosed in 2017. Here's a guy that went ahead and racing the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 and passed away today at the age of 56. But yet Kobe Bryant has stolen all the thunder. And yes, Jake, you're right. We should be talking about the Super Bowl. Again, I'm not trying to be unsympathetic toward Kobe Bryant.
No, Scott,
I'm not.
Scott, I just brought up John Andretti here, but there was also a death yesterday that a friend of mine told me about because he used to play with him. Chris Dolman.
That's true. Okay, good. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yesterday, and all I heard was on part of the interruption at the end of the show, a melancholy to Chris Dolman and his family. Thank you very much. Good night, Canada.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. Okay.
Nothing.
So we should be mourning 11 people. Okay. We should. Not 9. Although, again, my hearts and prayers go out to the family that passed away in addition to Kobe and his child, but Chris Dolman as well as John Andretti today.
Yeah.
Guys, we should be talking about who the heck's going to be winning the Super Bowl. I was over at the Miami Beach Convention Center, and when half the topic is on this subject, okay, is on Bryant and the game, but yet that's the reality that we're dealing with, that we had to do it. So, but it is what it is. So, all right, Jake, let's talk about the Super Bowl for a minute. Give me at least a prediction. There is a game, by the way, folks, on Sunday called Super Bowl 54. Does anybody know that?
I think we all forgot.
Yeah, I know we did.
I think it's going to be a tremendous football game. I think it will be close. One of two things is going to happen. Either the 49ers are going to jump out to a big lead and Patrick Mahomes is going to be tested, or it's going to be the other way around and the 49ers are going to have to play catch-up. But this is going to be a great football game. They're very well evenly matched. I mean, the Chiefs offense comes in 5th overall in offense with 28 points per game. They have a top 10 scoring defense and a pass defense, while the 49ers have a terrific front seven that is going to come after them. They got a very good offensive line that is going to be tested, but I feel like the better quarterback is going to win. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. I like what the Niners are doing in the future, but Andy Reid, it's your time, my friend. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs 27 and the 49ers 23.
And I'll say all along, I've always felt that the 49ers are going to win 21-17. So that's what I think. Lewis, go ahead. Give us a prediction tonight, man.
30-24. I think San Francisco is going to win it, but again, I can go either way.
Well, but that's where you're going to go, because now you're on. Now you're
I'm
recorded.
on record.
You're on record. Yeah. So I mean, but I understand a lot of the fact that this is one of our emotional shows. I understand it. I get it. Anytime a tragedy of this place takes place, it's hard. I mentioned to Chris Roberts earlier today, was on the program. The Marshall tragedy many years ago was one that was certainly tough. The Roberto Clemente tragedy occurred.
One we're forgetting, the Evansville, Indiana basketball team.
And the Evansville, Indiana. Good point, Lewis. You bring that up. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in our backyard. I mentioned that earlier. Aaron Feist. But I don't want to get into all those. But again, these are just classic examples of lives that were taken away before our time. But again, I may be reiterating this particular point, folks. Okay, when a plane is going, when a helicopter is going 180 miles an hour and you're 20 to 30 feet away from a mountain, and I was recently in California a few weeks ago, so I know the area that Chris Roberts was referring to. Mark my word, okay, they had no business being up in the air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
While my heart goes out to everybody, I still think that once again, this subject really, we've gone overboard, and this is overload. I kid you not. But we had to do what we had to do.
The best thing I saw today was what I saw on the Dan Patrick Show on Rich Eisen is they moved on. Their first story was about Patrick Mahomes, about all the hot takes that, is Patrick Mahomes now the GOAT or something like that. And they had a good conversation. They were laughing back and forth. It was just business as usual. They brought on Kirk Cousins, David Ortiz, all that kind of stuff. And it felt like, all right, we've healed as a sports community. It's time to move on. We got a Super Bowl to cover. Let's do this. So,
thank you. On that night, okay, that'll put a wrap on this edition of the Sports Exchange. I want to thank Chris Roberts, Mel Farr, Rick Curdy, Bill Winters, Xavier McKnight, and last but not least, Jake Ronholt, and of course, Louis Adioes, and Candy Ebling was also contributing as well. So On behalf of our all-star crew tonight, we want to wish everybody a great weekend, and we'll look forward to being back on this Sports Exchange next week. Good night, everybody,
Good night.
from all of us.